In December 18, 2023, he says that his administration will always uphold media freedom and respect opinions, whether they are adversarial or complementary to his government. 1 year into the life of this administration, we are beginning to see a surge in attacks on press freedom and the silencing of dissent and civic voices. In your assessment, how will you assess President Tinubu's 1 year in terms of press freedom in Nigeria?
Well, I think since 1999, the fundamental policy, state policy on press freedom has not changed in terms of practice. In theory, there have been some changes. We are talking about the Freedom of Information Act. We are talking about more media houses, more online media houses, people having more access to news, and people also writing their own stories. You know, and then since 1999, we've been able to stop the monopoly of the media by a section of the people. A lot of outlets are out there. You know, radio stations are in hundreds and all that. But in terms of the directive principle of state policy, you know, fundamentally, there has not been any change. The state continues to see free speech as a threat to itself, continues to see journalists not as partners in progress, but as enemies of the state. Consistently, we have seen this pattern since 1999. And I think in the past 1 year, it has been a continuation of the old tunes. We have seen journalists being arrested. We have seen journalists being haunted. We have seen journalists being bundled, kidnapped. You know, so it means that there's a far difference between the statement of the president of a country and the reality on the ground. So I think if I look at what the president has said, that he will uphold press and all that, in reality, what we are seeing is really not the same. It shows that the system itself, remains entrenched. The philosophy, the policies, the perspectives of those in power has not changed in any way, even though the president is trying to give the impression that he wants press freedom because himself is a product of that struggle. But what we have seen now, I think we cannot say that we have made reasonable advancement in terms of respect for free speech.
In terms of impact, we have countless examples of reporters and journalists that have been hounded, arrested. Ojukwu is one who was just recently released. Yeah. We have Fisayo Soyombo who did an investigation. What impact has this arrest, especially with regards to the Cybercrime Act, which is being used by the Nigerian police force to hound journalists? What effect is this going to have on press freedom and investigative journalism in Nigeria, sir?
It's really going to affect the future of democracy, because the kernel principle of democracy is free speech, people to be able to express themselves. We know there are naughty expressions, we know there are false expressions, but the law is very clear on the procedures. If there are seditious positions taken by certain newspapers or publications, the normal thing is to pass through the normal process, take them to court, because in a democracy, it's a rainbow of beautiful ideas, of ugly ideas, of bitter ideas, of sweet ideas. But the fact of the matter is that we have to learn to accommodate all shades of opinion in any democratic setting. So the idea is not to resort to bullying. The idea is not to resort to attacking people. The resort is not to resort to kidnapping. The position is to adopt the process of the law. That if you feel that some reports have not been fair enough, then you take them to court, not to resort to the state itself assuming the role of a judge, the persecutor and then the judge. So I think things are not being done in the right way, and it's going to fuel further resistance, from the media, because we have found out all over history there is no government, no matter how huge the arsenals of the military arsenals are, they are never as powerful as the pen. So there is nothing any government can do, to assume that, by killing people, by attacking them, by abducting them, they are going to store fresh speech, especially in the age of social media. It's going to make people more aggressive. It's going to make people more to be bolder, because they know that it's their future that is at stake, and people in government are just messengers of those that they govern. So they cannot assume the role of gods. So mere killing, we saw that happen in the days of Abacha and Babangida. It never surprised, make the media to be bolder, to be more courageous. So it's going to be counterproductive if the state or any individuals within the state thinks that by adopting bullying tactics, by adopting repression, tyranny, then they will at the end of the day suppress the media. It will not work.
So what measures or actions would you recommend in order to improve or protect press freedom in Nigeria, especially by this administration, in terms of changing its trajectory?
The media, the government itself needs to realize that the media is the best way it can achieve mass communication. And that means that the government must see the media as partners in progress. But if the government is starting from the position of hate, from the position of prejudice, that the media is out there, to attack the state, we are not going to, get anywhere. It's going to be counterproductive. All the policies of the government, the federal government, talking about the Lagos, Port Harcourt and Lagos Calabar Highway, all the economy policies, all the efforts to defeat terrorism, there's no way the presidency can pass on this information to Nigerians. It is the media that are best positioned to report this, and they must also the journalists must live up to their responsibilities. That when government come out with the policies, they have the legitimate right to criticize such policies. It is normal because they don't have monopoly of wisdom. So responsible governments must learn to have feedback mechanism, and that's what the media is doing. Of course, the media is not perfect, just like the government is also not perfect. So there might be some errors, but I mean to err is natural. So the government cannot take a few errors to now use it to generalize what the Nigerian media stands for. And don't forget, the Nigerian media since 1859 has been the bastion of resistance against colonialism, against military rule. The media laid the foundation, watered the tree of liberty of this country. So anybody who does not have respect for the media, is on a suicide mission. And I think every responsible government must learn this basic principle, especially now that independent media, is more trusted, than government-owned media. So they should not think that because they have NTA in 36 states, and then they have some other means of information, the Nigerian public, has more trust, in public media. So it is better for the government to, adopt the policy of constructive engagement with the media instead of attacking the media, suppressing the media, and using bullying tactics, to stifle free speech.